All right, so we've got a bunch of callers lined up. Oh, we lost one.
Yep, I got it.
I evidently talked way too long, but we'll start with Brian in Nebraska. Thanks for waiting.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Good, thank you. Okay, so just cut to the short. What is the reason you guys don't believe in God? Is it because of lack of evidence?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I've been on the internet lately, and I've been seeing some videos of people healing sicknesses and disease, and actually growing out legs using the name of Jesus.
Growing out legs.
Growing out legs?
So like there's not a leg there at all, and it grows out.
No. Like they have legs, but
one leg is shorter than the other. Is it? So one leg is shorter than the other, and they make the shorter leg grow to the length of the longer one, right? It's an old carnival trick. It's a con, and there's several different ways to do it, including taking and positioning the legs off to one side so that one leg appears longer, and then when you straighten them, they come together. I can do it with my hands. It's probably easier if you go like this. That's one way of doing it. There's also, if they have shoes on, you can slip a shoe out a little bit. A little bit of research, and I bet if you Googled, and I'm just going to guess, leg growing scam, you would find a whole bunch of articles about how this is achievable. Now, what most people will do when I tell them that is say, oh, but that's not what happened on this video that I saw. How do you know? And I'm not saying you're saying that, but that's my question. I can find videos of almost anything. I can go find videos of purported miracle healing and exorcism. Somebody sent me a bunch of videos on here's a video of an exorcism. Yeah. Well, how do you know? Because what I saw was two people, one of them hysterical and the other one preaching at him. How did you reach the conclusion that this is an exorcism, that there was a spirit? If prayer could actually make legs grow, don't you think that this would be major headline news and there'd be Nobel Prizes for changing the way we do medicine rather than a YouTube video and something happening at a tent revival?
Yeah. See, I've thought about it too, but I've also learned. Have you guys ever heard of the? Let's see. I think it was in 2013 that a scientist actually discovered blood on a dinosaur bone. And there's an interview of the scientist who actually discovered it, and she was actually saying that when she first found it, she was pretty kind of nervous to tell the scientific community. But in my perspective, I'm like, why would you be nervous? Like, science goes off of evidence. So the impression that she was giving to the viewers is scientist is already biased and refuses to believe anything or accept anything that doesn't go with their actual beliefs. So
sure. So she can give that impression, but is it true?
Mm-hmm.
Is it true?
Yeah.
It is true. You're saying it's true that scientists are prejudiced against new information that might upset a paradigm?
Yeah, I'm saying it's a pretty big speculation, seeing that the nonverbal communication and the verbal communication that she was giving off, and having her being a scientist, being exposed to the scientific community. I'm sorry, Brian.
You're misunderstanding. I don't care what she thinks. I'm saying, is it true that the scientific community is in fact prejudiced against findings like this that would upset the current understandings in science?
I mean, in my opinion, I'm not going to badger anyone's opinion, but in my personal opinion, going off of the evidence that seeing an apparent, it was a 66 million year old.
I don't care about the specifics of this case. I'm asking the abstract question about, is it in fact true that the scientific community is in a conspiratorial bias to hide these facts and not let them come to light?
I believe so.
Why?
I believe that it depends on the situation, and the reason why I took a long time to explain the last thing that I said is because, for instance, we can all agree that scientists' foundation, or one of their main foundations, is evolution. And,
no. Actually, evolution is a portion of, and the foundation for biological sciences, but not all of them. But here's the thing. The way science works is they want new information, especially information that upsets the current finding, because that's how you learn more about the world. That is how you get more grant research. The idea that there's a conspiracy to hide this stuff, the thing that you're talking about, for example, madebbc.com. I'm looking at the article right here.
It's on Live Science and
so
Smithsonian.
Scientists aren't hiding this stuff.
Does it say though that she was ridiculed because when she discovered the blood on the bone, blood or organic material isn't supposed to last even more than 1 million years, and seeing blood on an apparent 66 million year old bone, that raises huge speculation.
And this one says 75 million. So are we talking about the same one?
There's a 66 million year bone and an 80 million year bone that this lady by the name of I can't remember her name.
Mary Schweitzer.
Is it Mary Schweitzer?
Yeah.
Because this article from the BBC says it's 75 million years old.
Yeah, same.
65.
75. Oh my God! Can you not just Google blood dinosaur bone?
Well, no, that didn't come. He wouldn't be able to immediately pull up Institute for Creation research if he did that.
But Jen is looking at the story about this on Live Science. I'm looking at it on BBC. So where's the conspiracy to hide this information?
And I also pulled up something from Smithsonian Magazine. So it's been widely published. It was
heard about it.
It was published in the Journal of Proteome Research, which is a peer-reviewed journal. So nobody's hiding this from anybody. And it wasn't blood found on the bone. It was blood found in the bones.
Yeah, blood found, like the point being there should be no blood on any dinosaur bone. Because, and I know that they're saying that this is because of iron bone, but when she first discovered this discovery, scientists, instead of saying, is there iron on the bone, they chose to ridicule her. No,
they were appropriately skeptical because this had never been found before. And what she had to do, what she had to do was demonstrate that the sample she was using where she found this purported blood had not been contaminated with anything else. And once she did that, her findings were embraced by the scientific community, and they were hailed as a remarkable discovery. So what's your issue with that?
My issue is when she first found the discovery,
they didn't believe her.
Yes,
that's exactly what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
This is why when somebody comes in and says, "Hey, I found this fossil of a bird-like dinosaur," the first thing we need to do is investigate it. You don't begin by believing. You believe after there's sufficient evidence. And someone coming up with something that hasn't been seen before and saying, "Look what I found," should not be believed just because they say they found it. What should happen is that there's a proper investigation and you reach a conclusion and that gets published and peer-reviewed, which is exactly what has happened here. So where's the science conspiracy?
There seems to be miscommunication. I understand what you're saying, but my concern was her admitting that she was afraid to.
I don't care. I don't see how this is relevant because Brian. No, let me finish. You are concerned about her fear of bringing this forward, and that this is sufficient to reach the conclusion that the fear is justified, when the evidence we have is that the fear was not justified. Okay,
can I just give you guys video so you guys can watch it and just make your own speculation?
Not interested in watching a video.
What could I possibly get out of a video? You would have to go and investigate it. This is the thing. For the same reason they didn't believe her immediately when she showed up with this is the same reason you shouldn't believe a video when you see it. You have to investigate further. Have you investigated beyond watching the video? Do you have any expertise in this area?
Oh, of course. And then all you have to see is the fact that organic material should not be on a dinosaur bone.
Hang on, I thought this was a video about growing. I thought this was a video about growing legs.
Yeah, I know, but we kind of transitioned and branched off to another topic.
So you want to send us videos about blood on a dinosaur bone, which we've already acknowledged as a scientific.
No, I want you guys to think about the logic that the logic of saying that it is acceptable to believe that blood, organic material, should be present in a dinosaur bone.
She demonstrated that that's the case.
No, but like this is the point, though. Like scientists have already said that organic material should not be present
under normal
circumstances. But she demonstrated that this bone that she was using was not contaminated, and this was in fact blood and other tissue from a dinosaur.
So what we have is we have a scenario where something that we did not think could occur occurred. We don't have an explanation, or they may have. I haven't actually read the whole article. We may or may not have an explanation for why. What's the problem?
What's
the problem?
Iron.
What's the problem?
The problem is it does not seem genuine.
What doesn't seem genuine?
And on what basis do you say that that's not genuine? You don't.
I still don't know what's not genuine.
Well, and you don't even have any expertise in this field.
No, I'm basing everything off of what they say.
Who's they? Who's they?
They are scientists. Scientists
that tells me nothing. Scientists who were appropriately skeptical that this could occur because at the time no one had ever demonstrated this.
They brutally attacked her. They brutally attacked her.
Okay. They were wrong to brutally attack her, if that's what happened. But I have no reason to believe, Brian, I have no reason to believe anything you say at this point.
Yeah.
No, but can you understand why they would brutally attack her?
I'm not convinced, Brian, I'm not convinced that they did. And I just said if they brutally attacked her, they were wrong to do that. But you don't get to build a conspiracy, and then when it gets knocked down, go back to the beginning and say yes, but they brutally attacked her, and this demonstrates a conspiracy among scientists. No, what happened was they didn't believe until there was good reason to believe, and if somebody brutally attacked her, they were wrong.
Yeah, because they are protecting evolution because evolution.
So you don't accept.
No. Wait a minute. This discovery is actually a significant contribution to evolutionary science because, as Mary Schweitzer herself notes, it tells us not only about how tissues preserve over time, but gives us the possibility of looking at how these animals adapted to their environment while they were alive. This is a significant contribution to evolutionary science.
But it contradicts saying that organic material can only last 1 million years.
No, it doesn't.
So you were telling me that you expect to see million-year-old blood cells present on
Brian, do you speak English?
5 million year bone.
I mean, are you just like regurgitating words and not paying attention to what we said? Jen explained prior to this discovery that we had no evidence that this could happen. And after this discovery, we have evidence that this could happen.
But how do you know that the evidence that they are giving you is actually true? That's the point. Because
you do more than watch a damn video and reach to whatever conclusion you feel is comfortable.
See, this is the thing about peer-reviewed science and publishing. It's that they lay out their methodology so another scientist can replicate the work. You could replicate the work. You would have to go and get the appropriate skills and access to the appropriate lab. But if you had that, you could replicate this work and prove it to yourself. That's the whole point of publishing in scientific journals, So you put the information out there for more than one person to take a look at. This stuff's not a secret.
So I'm wondering what any of this has to do. I mean, it seems to me that you don't think evolution has happened. You don't trust science.
No, because I mean, there's also like in ancient Egyptian history, like within the pyramids, there's actually old writings of giants walking the earth and actually being responsible for the pyramids.
And you believe that? And you believe that, Brian? And you believe that, Brian?
Yeah, I believe there's
so you believe this thing that you think was written on an ancient pyramid, but not the findings of peer-reviewed science. And you know what? I don't believe you. I think this is a prank call. Goodbye. I don't buy that one bit. And your voice sounded suspiciously familiar, and I'm sure there's somebody in the chat room going, "Oh, this is the guy who's prank called you a bunch of times." So thanks for wasting our time. But we did get to talk about, hey, here's a finding of science.
That's right.
And we didn't have to sex it up or delve into your wild conspiracy theories about how the scientists are desperate to protect evolution, so they're not willing to consider the thing that they considered and verified.
Yeah.
Wow.
That made a significant contribution to evolution.
I don't believe that call one bit.
No.